A woman's been being abused because her name is Corona. And Japan's Joe Biden gains fame after the US's Joe Biden wins a victory. And witches' covens in the UK are suffering because of COVID-19. These are the weird stories for Tuesday on Weird AF News. This is the only daily weird news podcast hosted by a comedian. I'm Jonesy, and I'm recording in a closet.
Hey, mainstream news. Listen to Weird AF News with Jonesy.
A woman named Corona has been abused because her name is Corona. She lives in England. Her name is Corona Newton. She's had to put up with jokes about her unusual name for as long as she can remember. As you can imagine, beer-related nicknames have followed this 49-year-old civil servant since before she was legally able to drink her first pint. People used to call me Guinness and Budweiser, that I could always laugh it off, but this is way more frustrating, especially when it gets aggressive. Corona lives in Oldham, which currently has the highest number of COVID-19 cases per 100,000 people in England. Residents of this greater Manchester town have endured some of the toughest enhanced lockdown measures for many weeks. Corona says no one takes her seriously when they discover her name. While she cannot book a table or open an account without staff giving her peculiar looks. Oh, she can't even make a reservation at a restaurant. People have said to me, "Oh, as if I'm going to listen to somebody named after a virus." I don't know if this is what Corona sounds like. I'm doing the best I can. The mother of five, although in England they call them mums, the M-U-M, mum of five, which is silly. Mum of five, Corona, has been even plagued by really nasty prank callers with well, take your name out of the phone book, dummy, mum of five. Your name is Corona, all right? Maybe go down to the city hall and change the damn thing. I'm sorry. It's her life. She says she's been plagued by really nasty prank callers calling her up and asking, "Is this the virus?" Imagine just answering your phone all day with someone going, "Hello, is this the virus?" "Hey, is this the virus? Hey, you the virus?" Click. While driving her daughter to the dentist last week, she picked up a highly abusive phone call from a man who even swore at her. He screamed down the phone at me. "What does it feel like to do the world over, eh, Corona?" Her name also leads to many awkward situations, she says, like at a recent parents' evening when a teacher thought her daughter was being rude by calling her Corona. Oh, no. So basically every aspect of her life is just a pain in the ass right now because of her name. At what point do you think about maybe changing it? I don't know. We got some pretty potent stats here. According to the Office for National Statistics, fewer than 3 girls were named Corona in 2019, and it has not been recorded in the top 100 girls' names at any time from 1904 to 2019. So it's never been a popular name. I'd imagine people are not naming their child Corona in 2020. So how did Corona come by her unusual name? The name comes from the Latin word for crown, also means the aura around stars or the moon. It is quite a common Spanish surname, but less so as a forename. Wow, so it has some pretty cool meanings, right? Stars around a moon and a crown. It's got a beautiful symbolism, but it just sucks right now to be named this. And I would consider making the change. Have a conversation with your parents first. Let them know the situation. I'm sure they'll understand. Because your parents probably would be a little insulted if you changed the name that they gave you. But I'm sure in this instance they'll understand. Just have them come over to your house one day, Corona. Have them answer the phone for like a couple hours. Have them play telemarketer in your kitchen. And after about 4 calls with people just screaming, "Is this where the virus lives?" I mean, eventually they'll agree, hey, maybe change the name. Japan's Jo Baiden gains fame after Joe Biden's U.S. election victory. I know, 2 name-related stories in a row. How did you do it, Jonesy? I don't know. I've got skills at finding weird news. Yes, we have 2 stories related to people's names. This one is about a mayor of a small Japanese town. He's become an internet sensation after it was noticed that the characters of his name are read as Jo Baiden, phonetically the same as the name of the winner of the U.S. presidential election. Oh, my bad. It's spelled Jo Baiden, but I guess you pronounce it Jo Biden because the B-A-I is pronounced with a hard I. So it is pronounced Jo Biden. Yutaka Umeda, age 73, who heads the town of Yamato in southwestern Japan's Kumamoto Prefecture, was caught by surprise when his family told him that the alternative reading and pronunciation of his name has drawn some online attention. Here's a quote from the Japanese Jo Baiden. "I feel very close to him. It feels as though I've also won the election after hearing about his projected win." Kanji Chinese characters usually have several phonetic readings, in case you're wondering. The mayor's family name comprises characters meaning plum and rice field, but while they are usually pronounced as ume and da in the name, a fairly common one in Japan, they can also be pronounced as bai den. The character for Yutaka, meanwhile, is more commonly pronounced as Jo. So in the end, it's Jo Bai Den. This guy, Umeda, a.k.a. the Japanese Jo Biden, has received many messages following the presidential election results, congratulating him on the success of the former U.S. vice president. With Biden set to take office next year, Umeda now hopes it will also be a chance for his town, with a population of about 15,000, to gain some recognition. And he's mayor of this town. This is huge. Here's another quote from him. "Being the president of a superpower as the United States and a mayor of Yamato, the scale of our jobs is completely different. But I would like to think of ways to promote the town." Well, yeah, you could totally promote the town with this, buddy. Just totally piggyback off the fame of Jo Biden and win again. You know, do whatever you have to. Take advantage of your name. It's like a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for the Japanese Jo Biden. You know, and you need all the help you can get when you're running for mayor of a small Japanese village, I'd imagine, right? Because you got a lot of people that are just trying to oust you. There's a lot of ousting going on in Japan. You know, warring families, samurais and whatnot, trying to take over, take power. But don't forget about the ninjas. The ninjas are there. No, actually, no, there's no ninjas or samurai. I'm sorry, guys. I got carried away. I thought it was 14th century Japan. It's not. It's 21st century Japan. And you got to use things like social media to win elections. You can't just cut people's heads off with swords. So hopefully the Jo Biden meme will help you out there, buddy. You can piggyback off this fame. Here's one last quote from the Japanese Jo Biden, who's just a gentle man. "I sympathized as a politician in Biden's speech of doing politics for the American people regardless of the Republican Party or the Democratic Party. I have the same feelings for the people of my own town. I want to do my best." This guy sounds tremendous. I wish he was the mayor of my city. Unbelievable. One last quote from the Japanese Jo Biden. "When I meet Mr. Biden, I would like to introduce myself as, it's Biden of Kumamoto." You like podcasts? You're listening to my podcast. Maybe you thought to yourself, I'd like to make a podcast. Too difficult. No, not with Anchor. Anchor has free creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast from your phone or your computer. Anchor distributes your podcast to Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, and more. They have advertising integration, so you can even make a little money off your podcast. Everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. And good luck with your podcast. Good luck with your creation. Good luck with your life, man. A witch's coven is suffering because of COVID-19. Religious and social gatherings are not the only things that have been interrupted by the pandemic. These COVID-19 restrictions and lockdowns in various places also mean that witches' covens cannot meet. Not in the UK, where they are fairly abundant. First of all, I had no idea that there was tons of witches' covens in the UK. Seems scary to me. Fellas, watch out. All these witches just running around in the UK. Is this true? I gotta verify this. Anybody in the UK, have you seen witches' covens? Have you guys just been strolling through a cemetery and you saw a group of women wearing robes standing in a circle chanting? Has anyone come across this? It says they're abundant in the UK, so I'm just gonna believe it. I like to think that there's an abundance of witch covens out there. It just makes the world a weird, scary place. I mean, it was already scary, but this makes it weirder. I like to believe in spells and witches' brews. That seems like fun. Recently, the BBC got in touch with Karen Rainbird. Her last name is Rainbird. Yeah, that sounds like a witch. She's a pagan prison cleric. I don't know what that means. She recently launched a Wiccan coven in Pontypridd, Rhondda Cynon Taff. What is this? I can't even pronounce this. These are like old English words that I'm not even gonna try. I mean, I can do the English accent, but I draw the line at trying to pronounce these words. Rainbird shared her plight with the BBC, opening up about the increased discomfort witches in the UK are facing due to this pandemic. Rainbird started her coven only a few months ago. Oh, poor girl. You know what it's like to try and get a coven off the ground? It's just difficult. You know, you got to get on Craigslist and get people to come to the damn thing. That Facebook page isn't going to grow itself. She says, although it has 7 members, Rainbird herself is the only to have been initiated into the coven so far. So what are the others? Bystanders? Why don't you initiate them, Rainbird? Make them part of your crew. All right? Put them through the rigmarole of joining a coven. I don't know. I don't even know what you would do to join a coven. Some sort of strange rituals, I'm sure. But it's probably beautiful. Rainbird says that the other witches from her coven need proper training, and that is not something that they can do online. Oh, you can't do the training online. That's right. You can't sacrifice a goat online. You got to get together and do it in a circle with a pentagram. Isn't that how it works? I don't know. I'm just guessing. She says, Wicca is not really something you can do online because we just started the coven. No one is initiated, yet apart from myself. So, it's really the training period that we're lacking. No, you can't have your witches coven training. The initiation training involves what? Well, it says here, doing the Sabbaths, which are gathering to perform rites. Also attending witch workshops to practice casting the circle. Also identifying herbs. Oh, yeah, I guess if you're out, you got to go out in nature to identify herbs. And you can't really cast your circle online either. I empathize with you, Rain Song, Rain Bird, Rain Child, Raindrops are falling on my head, whatever your name is. She says none of these activities, however, they just can't happen over the internet. Witches need to meet in person to complete their training and to get inducted into the coven. You'll be surprised to hear that in the UK, being a witch is far more common than what would imagine. There were at least 85,000 witches identified in 2011. Well, these are people that identify with the neo-pagan movement, which is primarily represented by Wicca and witchcraft religions. Wicca, also termed pagan witchcraft, is a modern pagan religion and just one form of modern witchcraft. The witches practicing Wicca argue that images of witches are actually misleading. While the media focuses on portraying witches as evil, neo-pagans debate that witchcraft is not supernatural or evil. Rather, it's just a practice pertaining to spirituality and connection with the deity. Well, now, I lived in Salem, Massachusetts for a few years, and that is a community that has an abundance of Wiccans, I would say. I met a few. The most famous Wiccan in all of the U.S., possibly the world, her name is Lori, hold on, Cabot, Lori Cabot. She resides in Salem and even has her own little store, and I've seen her before. I used to wait tables at a restaurant right around the corner from her store. It was right on a wharf, actually, Pickering Wharf. You ever heard of this place? It's just a beautiful area in New England, is Salem, and right along the wharf. Well, anyways, a lot of witches, or I guess you'd call them Wiccans, in that city. I met a lot of them, and it is a thing. But I really only thought it was really concentrated there. Apparently, the UK is just bursting with witches. I had no clue. Anybody meet one over there? I know I have a lot of listeners in the UK. Any of you guys into this? Very surprised. How are you dealing with the pandemic being a Wiccan? It's just got to be difficult. You can't go meet at Stonehenge and sacrifice a deer. You just can't do it right now. You got to stay in the lockdown. Well, I wish you ladies luck. I hope you get it together. Maybe we'll see you in the spring.
Yay!
Hey, everyone. It's Jonesy, the host of Weird AF News. Thanks for being a loyal listener. Please tell a friend about the show. I want to apologize for yesterday's show. The quality of the sound was below standard because I had a problem with my mic, but got it fixed and working today, I hope. And so please forgive me for that. That doesn't happen very often, but you sometimes run into technical difficulties. It's just part of the game. I got a review from someone who's really nice. Tammy Jo Rocks. That's her That's her iTunes sign-on. She gave me 5 stars. She wrote, love, love, love this podcast. I stumbled across this podcast on our new Google Home, and it has now become the best start of our day. I now have the podcast on every device, and I highly recommend tuning in. Oh, that's amazing. Thank you, Tammy Jo, for allowing me into your home on a regular basis and listening to me on other devices as well. That's pretty sweet. I appreciate the review. It's so helpful to get reviews. 5 stars. Tammy Jo, you rock. You absolutely do rock. And I'm glad that I can help you start your day on a positive note. I got some emails, too, that I forgot to get to yesterday. Ronnie Tucker wrote me. He said, "Good sir, I am disgusted that absolutely no attempt was made at my native Scottish accent in the current episode with the story on smacking the kids. I am outraged." And then a smiley face. Keep up the good work, buddy. Yeah, he's joking with me. But I absolutely thought about trying it in the episode, Ronnie, but my Scottish accent is just really, it's the pits, man. It's just really, I can't do it, you know? Was it like this? All right, listen, I'll read your email in a Scottish accent. What I think is, you tell me if it's good. Good sir, I am disgusted that absolutely no attempt was made at my native Scottish accent in a current episode with the story on smacking. See, I can't do it. I don't have a Scottish accent, Ronnie Tucker. I gave it my try. I can't. It's too difficult. Your accent is too difficult. Like, let's admit it. Another email here from Mr. Charles Pullman. He wrote, "Hey Jonesy, I found your podcast on Amazon Music and I listened through the soup can. Alexa Echo." Pretty funny. I enjoy it very much. Anyway, parents should tell the kids who ask about the stripping skeletons, quote, "It's a party scene." Now, since you have never been to Aussie land, Australia, I suggest you tune into Radio 2GB in Sydney because one can learn a lot from the #1 East Coast talk radio station. Are you the host of this show, Charles Pullman? He also told me a place where I can learn more about Canadians. And he recommends the Winnipeg Comedy Festival. He says, "I just thought I'd throw a few things your way, Jonesy." And then a smiley face. And yeah, very nice email. Thank you, Charles, for writing me. That's pretty cool. I'm going to check out these things that you've suggested. And I would love to make it to Aussie land one day. I really would, Charles. So you're going to show me around or what, buddy? I hope so. I also want to thank Natalie Haynes. I don't know if she's a listener of this show, but she bought my comedy album off my website. So I want to give her a shout and say thank you for buying my comedy album, Natalie Haynes. It's available for purchased download on JONESY.com. But you get it for free if you join the Patreon. You get a free download. So it's a $10 value, guys. Okay. Yeah, so thank you, Natalie Haynes. And by the way, you can join the Patreon by going to patreon.com/weirdafnews or weirdafnews.com. You can join it from over there as well. So thank you so much, Natalie, one more time. A shout out to everybody who listened. I appreciate you.